Good morning. It's Tuesday, July 26th, and this is Green Guy 50 in Harrisburg, South Dakota. And today I'm here to visit with the good folks at RMS Roller-Grinder. They produce the Versamill and the Endurance Rolls that are used in the feed, ethanol, soy, and other industries. So here today we're going to take a real close look at their Versamill program and spend a little time concentrating on their excellent service program they have in place. So with that, I'm going to go on in and head in, see the folks, and get this started. Okay, here we are at RMS Roller-Grinder, and we have the opportunity to talk with Roy. And Roy's going to talk us through the Endurance Roll program. Why don't we start out with a little bit about what your role is here at RMS and how long you've been here, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, certainly. So I've been with RMS for over 10 years now. The bulk of my time has been in product development in our research and development department. So working on projects like Roll Gap, AccuGap, the Versamill, and Endurance Roll. In recent time, I've transitioned to help with applications engineering, so helping sales team with new products, new projects that are going through, helping customers figure out how our equipment will fit into their operation and what impact it would be.
Well, Roy, why don't you tell me a little bit about the development, the introduction of the Endurance Roll program?
Yes, so in 2019, we launched our initial pilots of the Endurance Roll program. What that primary motive was to reduce the number of roll changes that had to be performed on our equipment by increasing the life of the roll. And selfishly, we started this to reduce the number of overnights for our techs, but we realized the impact that it had on our customers' processes and operations by reducing the amount of roll changes and the downtime associated with it.
What? That seems a little counterintuitive. I mean, if you guys make a lot of your income's probably from service related and you're putting a product out there that doesn't require as much service, that's kind of a...
Yeah, it definitely was a discussion point. We were kind of cannibalizing our own business to start with, but really we felt the value for the customer was there.
Excellent.
And the impact it would have on our team was there as well. So we made the conscious effort to pursue it. And since then, we've had a very high adoption rate, our existing customer base, into the Endurance Roll program.
Great. So this is one of the Endurance Rolls right here we're looking at?
Yes.
Okay. So what's unique about the Endurance Roll?
Yes, so the Endurance Roll is a standard chill with our endurance technology that is put on that makes the roll last 3 to 5 times longer. That's our average life increase that we've seen. The profile that you're using can remain the same, the corrugation, everything along them can remain the same, and you will have the same profile that you put before. We just add our endurance on top of the existing roll design to increase the life.
Okay. So that's on a new roll application. If I've got an old roll I need to get in and recut or sharpen, can I get that application on it as well?
Yeah, so we can take your dull roll back or do a roll exchange. The dull roll will come back, we'll sharpen it, we'll get it balanced, any shafting that needs to be replaced, do the endurance on it, and then send it back out.
Okay. You mentioned this roll exchange.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about the roll exchange program?
Yes, so with our roll exchange program, we have a stock inventory of standard sized rolls. And what we can do is actually bring a sharp stuff back to you. So you're not, if you only have one set of rolls, you're not required to bring your rolls back in, have unnecessary downtime, and then get them shipped back to you. We can bring a fresh set of endurance rolls out, put them in, and then take your dull rolls back as our inventory.
Typically, and I know it's going to change where you're at and everything, but if from the time I send you my dull rolls in until I get exchange back, what's that turnaround time?
Yeah, depending on where we're at in seasonality, it could be like 2 to 4 weeks typically for a standard exchange time.
Okay, let's kind of wrap this up. Just summarize, what as a potential user, and you're trying to convince me I should switch over to Versamill, what are the points I should consider?
Yeah, so the big thing to consider is what value Endurance Roll truly brings to your process. So factoring in things like how much is downtime costing you, how much is, once you reach the end life of your roll life, how much quality impact is that having on your business? Are you getting the extractions you need during that time frame? So really looking at it holistically, the Endurance Roll gets you in that sweet spot for a longer period of time and reduces your downtime. So figuring out what the value of that has on your process, you can really figure out if endurance is right for you.
Okay, so if I look at these values in the endurance roll, and then I look at your service program on top of that to support, that's really a huge benefit for me as a customer.
Yes, and what we've seen too is our retention rate for people on endurance is around like 97%. So we found that customers that go on endurance stay on endurance.
Okay. All right, so we're back out on the plant floor with Roy. We've kind of talked through the maintenance program day. We've talked about the endurance roll. Well, it might be a good idea this time to walk through the shop and take a look at some of the processes that we've got going on out here. So Roy, if you just kind of want to walk us through here what we got going on.
Yeah, certainly. So when a roll comes in, we'll get the bearings pulled, and then it'll head over to the corrugation shop where the dull roll gets put in this machine called a corrugator. And what it does is basically there's a tool in here that takes and sharpens the roll. So this tool is set up specific for the profile, the GPI, basically everything of the corrugation is set up. And this tool comes back and just sharpens the roll.
So typically, how long would it take to recut a roll then, Roy?
Depending on size of roll, it could take as little as an hour. Some larger rolls could take up to 12 hours,
Okay.
depending on how much rework of the roll has to be done.
Okay. How many times can a roll be recut?
Depending on profile, it could be anywhere from as little as 10 times up to potentially 40 times. Typically, we see the most amount of recuts in a fine GPI, so a really small tooth profile that doesn't require a lot of material to be taken off the recharge.
Okay. Now, when you apply your endurance roll coating to it, does it change how these are recut at all, or is it the same process?
No, so with our endurance rolls, the profile that you had before will remain the same. So RMS has invested a lot of time, a lot of research and testing into how to get the endurance to maintain the exact profile that you had before.
Okay.
So you won't see any shift in profiling that you would with other methods.
Okay. So how many of these machines do you have on site?
So corrugators right now we're running 6, and yeah, right now we're in a process remodel of the corrugating shop to add more capacity right now. So one thing that can happen is anytime a shaft is replaced, we want to make sure that roll is truly in balance, because it can cause bad vibrations within the machine, and that can cause issues such as bearing failures and other component failures.
Okay.
If a shaft is replaced, we'll go over to our dynamic balancing machine, load the roll up on the balancer, spin it up. Depending on RPM, we balance the different specs, and the process is very similar to like how a tire is balanced.
So this is dynamic, it's not a static.
Correct.
And what's the advantage of that?
Dynamic balance typically has higher accuracy, and it allows us also to balance through different standards based on weight, speed, and other parameters.
Okay, great. Now, we talked earlier about your roll swap program. I assume you've got an inventory of rolls around here
Yes.
somewhere we can take a look at?
Yeah, so over here in the shop, is a roll check.
Okay.
So when rolls come back from the field, you can see out here on the trailer, they got rolls that are coming dull back from the site, bearings on. They'll bring them rolls inside here.
Okay.
Shafts will get checked to make sure there's no shaft damage, there's no run out of the shafts, bearings are pulled off, and then any shaft rework will be done in this area. So this is kind of the prep stage for the rolls getting recorrugated.
Okay.
And then you talked about roll inventory. So as we go down over here, we have an inventory of rolls starting here of various different sizes. And basically about half this warehouse is full of roll stock right now for swaps.
Now, where do you source your new rolls from?
Yes, so new rolls typically come out of a foundry either in Europe or out of Turkey as well, depending on the application, sourcing timelines. We have a couple different vendors we source from.
Is there anything else you want to show me while we're in here?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, again, thank you, Roy. I appreciate the tour.
Yes,
All right.
thank you.
Well, again, here today, RMS Roller-Grinder in South Dakota, and I've got the opportunity to be here with Corey, and Corey works in the service team here in RMS. It goes out there and provides the outstanding service to potential and future clients. So, Corey, maybe tell me a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with RMS, and kind of what your duties are, and what your typical day or week's like.
Sure. Yeah, so I've been with RMS for going on 8 years now. Started full-time traveling service tech, going out doing roll changes, breakdowns, startups on new equipment, things like that. I have transitioned a little bit into more of the service manager role here the last couple of years. I kind of help support the techs on the road, ordering parts, taking care of fires, things like that. I still go out and do breakdowns when needed. Just kind of help wherever best support the team.
Okay. I understand you guys have a roll swap program where the mill or whatever does not actually have to own the roll, that you guys will swap rolls with them, and you guys will go in and do change outs for them. Is that part of your duties? Or?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we got a couple different programs, just our standard roll changes where we can just exchange rolls off of inventory. And obviously the endurance roll program is something that RMS has developed here over the last 4 or 5 years, using our longer lasting roll technology. And with those endurance programs, then we'll go to a quarterly wellness visit to where we'll go on site, we'll check the health of the machine, maintenance, make sure bearings are getting greased, work with operators and make sure they understand how the machine works, training on parallel zero, cleaning magnets, just to try to make their machine last and the rolls last as long as we can for them as well. So that is something that a lot of customers I have found beneficial, especially with turnover. A lot of feed mills have a lot of turnover. Getting that hands-on experience with a service tech to show them, here's how you do this, here's what to look for.
Oh, okay, great.
Things like that.
Great. So that wellness, that's a specific checklist for each style of machine then, or?
Yeah, we have a generic checklist for your, say bearings, grease lines, things like that. Obviously, different machines operate differently. So we'll go through, depending if it's a Roscamp or a Lone Star or an RMS,
right,
show them how to adjust it, how to parallel it, how to set it, just to be most efficient.
So you will provide that service for other brands besides RMS?
Yes, sir. We worked on a lot of different brands with MPEs, Lone Stars, Roscamps, Rosses.
Okay.
So we will work on any type of roller mill.
All right.
There's a few that we obviously don't have a ton of experience in. We're always willing to tackle.
Okay. So with the advent, I understand the Endurance Roll program came out about 4 years ago. What kind of changes have you seen since that program came in place?
I've seen, I would say, a little less breakdowns because we are on sites quarterly, looking at machines over and making sure stuff they're getting greased, or broken grease lines, things like that. We don't do as many roll changes as we did 5 years ago because the ones that are on endurance we were doing every 6 months. Now we're doing them every 2 years, right? Because the rolls are lasting longer. So there's been a lot, probably a little less roll changes and more customer interaction with the techs.
Okay.
With them wellness.
All right. All right. So when you guys go out, I'm sure you see some typical things from an operating or maintenance standpoint in different industries that you probably have an alternative way of doing things or suggestions for the guys. Let's kind of let's talk about in the feed industry first. What do you see kind of in the feed industry, typical issues?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, like I mentioned to you earlier, is turnover, right?
Okay.
These feed mills have a hard time getting good help, just like we do.
Okay.
Right? So getting a lot of new operators in there.
Yeah.
And getting those guys trained up so they can run these machines,
okay,
effectively. I would say it's probably the biggest thing I see on the ag side, along with these places are getting busier and busier and busier.
Right.
So downtime is huge. On these machines running and training them guys. If it's a belt-tented thing, instead of having to call us and a half day to get there, these guys now can go in, okay, I'm confident in tightening my belts and getting this machine running.
All right, great. So what about you guys are in the ethanol industry as well a little bit?
Yes, sir. Yep.
What do you see there?
So the ethanol guys, they generally have pretty good team of maintenance because the feed mills maybe aren't quite as big where these ethanol plants are huge. They do keep a staff of maintenance on hand at all times.
Okay.
The biggest thing, the ethanol plants, their downtime is crucial too.
Right.
But what we've been doing with these newer plants is we'll send a guy or two from here,
Right.
2 of our techs, and we'll go train them.
Okay.
Do a roll change with them 2 or 3 times until they're comfortable,
Okay.
and give them the knowledge and the tools to succeed, to make it successful. A lot of the ethanol I see is kind of remote support.
Okay.
Too, helping them out on the phone or logged in on the computer to help them out.
They don't need as much hands-on as the feed guys.
Yeah.
How about over on the soy processing side?
Soy, I would say similar to ethanol. We're kind of just getting into that, a little heavier now. A lot of the soy guys have already currently been doing their own roll changes, right?
Yeah.
So they know how to change the rolls. We have gone to a couple and assisted like the ethanol plants and showed them a few tricks and things with the roll changes.
Okay.
That has been beneficial. If it's just setting the machine or how we kind of
Yeah.
take them apart, put them together.
Yeah.
But like I say, most of them guys, they've done roll changes. They kind of understand it. It's just a little bit nip tips here and there.
Okay, great. Well, Corey, I want to thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy guy. I'm part of leading this service team, and you got probably people out there needing your time more than I do right now. So again, I want to thank you very much.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks, sir.